We are back at Phoenix and in the closing laps of this 300-kilometer race. And for those of you who tuned in to see the Barber Stop race from Del Mar, California, unfortunately we will not be able to present that at this time while we finish up this race and prepare for NFL prime time. We understand that there may be an overheating problem developing on the Quaker State Buick car number 26, driven by Rudd, who leads this race. Now, that's what we hear, and he's only got 21 more laps to go before the end, so that remains to be seen. However, we have made our determination, and in our opinion, the Goodyear Eagle driver of the race is Alan Kulwicki. Goodyear will be sending a check for $1,000 in Alan's name to the the Winston Cup Racing Wives Association, from a very good driver to a very good cause. Alan is running second in the race, and he has come back from a couple of adversities this afternoon to run very strong in the race, and that's the reason why we have chosen him as our driver of the race.
And he is now gaining on Ricky Rudd. He has cut what was an 8-second lead down to about 5 6/10 seconds, Bob. So this race is not over, even though Ricky Rudd is sitting out there comfortably ahead. But if he does have an overheating problem, maybe he's back off a little bit to sort of conserve that engine. Let us update the fans. We talked about what.
Well, we see maybe some smoke from this car. Dick Berggren, have you got a handle on what might be happening here?
I sure do, Bob, and you are dead right. He does have an overheating problem. Ricky Rudd is having problems with that engine running hot. The faces on the crew here are faces of concern. Everybody is worried. This team has dropped out of 9 races this year with engine failure. They are right now getting the equipment ready to spray water on the radiator in case Rudd has to come in. Definite overheating problem in Rudd's car. The time is running out. Can he hang on, or is this going to be Alan Kulwicki's first win? 19 more laps to go, and the smoke becomes more evident from the Ricky Rudd car on every circuit of the racetrack. This completes lap 294, and the race is 312 laps, so it is not over. Don't go away. Stay with us. Now look at the smoke coming out of that car. It's very evident now.
And the lead has shrunk to 4 seconds, so he's lost half of the lead that he did have. He was 8 seconds ahead. Now it's 4, and I suspect it'll be less than that the next time around.
Now let's go back and pick up what you were about to talk about, Ned, and this Winston Cup situation.
Okay, if Rusty Wallace should win at Atlanta, if they wind up the way they're running here today, which is in 4th, Wallace is in 4th place and Elliott in 5th place, and to go to Atlanta with the 69-point lead, Bill Elliott would only have to finish 18th or better, even if Rusty Wallace wins the race down there. Our statistician, Ken Martin, has figured that out for us.
And it would also mean the elimination of Dale Earnhardt from a possible Winston Cup championship.
Yeah, the way things stand here today, the way they're running on the racetrack at this point, with not too many laps left, Dale Earnhardt has been eliminated as far as any chance of winning the championship this year.
He is running in 12th position at the moment, and he certainly received a major setback when he had that incident with Joe Ruttman early in the race, in which the two spun off of corner number 2, and Earnhardt lost a lap at that time, and has just been a very disappointing race for him since that time. Ricky Rudd is trying to stay on the lead, and there is the sentiment of the Alan Kulwicki crew as they are hoping that and Rudd is slowing down. This is it. Rudd is slowing down. He's coming into the pits. Obviously something has gone wrong with that car. As we indicated, overheating may be the problem in any case. Here comes Ricky Rudd into the pits with 16 laps to go, and let's go to Dick Berggren.
No, he's not.
They are ready for him. They're ready with the water hose.
He's not coming in.
Have to use it. He's turned back into the garage. His day is over.
Unbelievable situation again for Ricky Rudd, who once again comes close but does not win the race. And now Alan Kulwicki is set up for his first ever Winston Cup Series win.
Well, Allen has run a very, very strong race here today, starting in the 21st position, dropped all the way back at the tail end of the pack early in the race when he had some tire problems, cut a couple of tires down, then they had a lug nut problem, got all of that squared away, and has driven his heart out, and now leading the race.
So Alan Kulwicki could be in victory lane for the first time in his Winston Cup career. We have had 13 different winners in the Winston Cup competition in 1988, tying the record that was set in 1986. If Allen should take the checkered flag this afternoon, we would break that record, meaning there have been 14 different winners on the series this year. Alan Kulwicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin. This was his 85th Winston Cup start. His best finish has been a second on 2 different occasions, including one this year at Darlington.
He now has a 14-second lead over Terry Labonte, who is running in second position. So he has an even bigger lead than Ricky Rudd had on Kulwicki before Rudd started having his problems.
And there are 13 more laps to go. 299 are complete.
So he could lose a second a lap and still win the race.
What a story this is going to be, and what a celebration this is going to be for Alan Kulwicki. He has just performed so well on so many occasions this year, but something has happened to the car, or something has gone wrong that has prevented him from tasting the sweet taste of victory. But it could happen now in 12 more laps for Alan Kulwicki. So as we get set up for the finish, and as the Alan Kulwicki crew prays for his victory, we'll be back right after this.
I'm in the garage area with a disappointed Ricky Rudd. Ricky, what happened? Did the motor give up finally?
Well, I think it must have cracked the cylinder head or something this time. It started running hot with about 60, 70 laps to go, and for the longest time I just was nursing it. You know, I got out front, got a big lead, and the water temperature started going crazy, so I just backed off the throttle. Must have run another 50, 60 laps just running partial throttle, and surprised that I was able to make it as long as I did.
Well, it was a good strong run, but today victory lane will not be for Ricky Rudd.
Like State Buick's been awful tough this year. You know, yeah, it's disappointing. You know, it's hard not to be, but we're coming back next year. We got Lou LaRosa coming on board, and we feel like we got a good shot at the championship.
He sure does. You can believe that.
6 more laps to go for Alan Kulwicki and his first Winston Cup win. Let's go to Jerry Punch quickly in the pit area.
Well, gentlemen, in 1977, Alan Kulwicki graduated from the University of Wisconsin with a mechanical engineering degree. He told me he couldn't believe that 9 years later, he was the Winston Cup Rookie of the Year, 1986. And here, 11 years later, from his graduation from college, he is an accomplished Winston Cup winner. Alan Kulwicki's crew tensely waiting as these laps count down. They can't believe it either.
We have a couple of more stories developing on the racetrack, however, as we watch Alan Kulwicki headed for victory lane. The second position is held by Labonte, but here is the battle for 5th place. Davey Allison in car number 28. Make that the battle for 4th. Davey Allison in car number 28 is challenging Bill Elliott in number 9, and Davey Allison sneaks into 4th position. We'll watch Elliott battle back, though, on the outside in turn number 3, but it looks like that Davey Allison has completed the pass, and yes, indeed, Allison is now in 4th.
And that'll take 5 more points away from Bill Elliott, so that could reduce it down to 64 after this race, if it stays the way it is right now, with Rusty Wallace running in the 3rd position.
And running in 9th position and looking for his best finish of the 1988 season is a guy who qualified rather well and has been very consistent, Benny Parsons. And here comes Rusty Wallace in for a pit stop. This is quite a development here.
Yeah, they were concerned about the fuel, and Jerry apparently didn't have enough to go the rest of the way. So just enough.
No, they didn't, man. They just came down pit road just a minute ago. Rusty said the fuel pressure gauge fluctuated. He had to come in. They were going to try to roll the dice, and they came up short. He had a 6-second pit stop for a dash of fuel.
Okay, so now that scrambles the point situation a little bit different. That'll probably put Rusty Wallace behind Bill Elliott. We'll see how they stack up on the racetrack as the leader. Alan Kulwicki almost bumps into Rusty Wallace, about to put him a lap down.
So I believe that Wallace there is in 6th position because he is the last car on the lead lap. There were 6 cars on the lead lap. Rusty is still on the lead lap, but now in 6th spot. So yes, he is 1 behind Bill Elliott with 2 laps to go. And we wanted to mention about Benny Parsons' best finish of the 1988 season. He is running in 9th position, and there he is. Nice performance this afternoon by Benny Parsons. But all the eyes here at Phoenix International Raceway are on the leader, Alan Kulwicki. Here he comes off of corner number 4, and Harold Kinder has has the white flag in hand. There it is, displayed to Alan Kulwicki, who'll probably take no chances and may just let Rusty Wallace stay right there. He'll take no chances of becoming involved in any kind of an incident as he is on his last lap now with about a half mile to go before his first Winston Cup victory ever. And it comes at Phoenix International Raceway in the inaugural event here. Alan Kulwicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin, in his 85th start on the Winston Cup Series. Here he comes out of corner number 4. Rusty Wallace a little bit loose coming off here. They're going to cross the line just about side by side, but it is Alan Kulwicki winning the inaugural Checker 500 from Phoenix International Raceway.
And what a drive he has made here this afternoon. As they were crossing the start-finish line, Harry again apparently ran out of gas.
Let's try to contact Alan on the radio. Alan, you with us?
Yeah, just on the radio.
Congratulations, you did it.
Yeah, thank you. It's great. I'm so happy I can justify that. The guys in the crew worked hard all year for this. We had our problems early, but we came back, and I'd like to thank my sponsors.
Well, outstanding. Alan Kulwicki in the Z-Rex Ford, and he rode to victory on those Goodyear Eagles you just mentioned. And Alan, all I can say is Special K, congratulations, partner.
Oh, it was a great day for us. And the Goodyear tires did work good for us all day. We had a couple of flats, but we came back, and the crew did a good job. And Paul Anderson and Randy Andrews, Bob Sutton, all the guys on the crew really deserve a lot of credit. That victory lap there is something I had thought about for a long time, and I wanted to do something special and never be another first win, and I just wanted to give them something to remember me by.
Alan, we were talking about that. The extra lap while you're talking to Bob Jenkins. You know, outstanding effort. 85th start for Alan Kulwicki. Special K now entering into the Winston next year. The All-Star race, and he climbs out to a celebration. 33 years old. Special K has a special day at Phoenix. Gentlemen.
Well, it's nice to see Alan in victory lane at last. He was one of those who you just thought that was going to win a race soon, and by golly, it finally occurred under a deep blue sky here in the Arizona desert, about 25 miles outside of Phoenix, Arizona. He's won the Checker 500 here at Phoenix.